Good evening and happy Sunday to everybody out there in the blogosphere, Facebook sphere, etc., etc. And yes, there is that fact that the Flat Earth Society has members around the globe. Deep thoughts, I know. It's always so deep. But welcome to my show. It is Sunday, what's the date today? 20th of September, 2020. I think there's about 43, 45, something like that, 45, 46 days left until Election Day. And you know what that means? Total chaos, mass confusion. Everything is going to be in question, including the very existence of our country. Who knows? Let's check out my comments. Hello, Ed Delgado. Hello, Paula. Hello, how are you? Hello, Tracy. How you doing? Sorry. Paula gets the better greeting because she's better looking than you guys. Sorry. But anyway, yes, Trump 2020. So what are we going to talk about tonight? I don't know. You guys help me out. I wasn't sure what to talk about. Is there anything going on? I mean, I think there's nothing really. I can't even think if there is anything. Oh, I'm having some connectivity issues here, just so you know. I hope this doesn't continue. And then, whoop, I heard a beep. So I'm going to wait for my good friend. What should I call her tonight? Sarah, Sylvia, Severn just played sassy. She's in the green room, so I can't. She can't say anything. She wants to scream at me. No, I'm actually gonna bring Stephanie on. Oh yes, definitely, Tracy. The classy response. That is great. Okay, so here we are. Hello, Stephanie.
Hey, how's it going?
How's life up in Door County?
Hanging in there. It was I had actually was able to relax today, so it's been a kind of a crazy week leading up to the weekend. So it was kind of a nice day to just chill out.
Say it isn't so. I look really red today. I don't know why. My lighting's all off. I gotta fix.
Did you get sunburn or something? Or?
No. I mean, I was hanging out with my son.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So you had a good day today?
It was interesting.
Okay.
It was interesting. I'll leave it at that, but it was cool. It was all right. Everything was good.
Okay.
So, yeah, anything. Did you see President Trump's response to finding out that RBG had passed away?
His initial response?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. It was actually very, very, nice and civil, and it was very. I thought it was very classy of him how he responded. So, I actually had a liberal friend respond that they were like surprised by his response. And I'm like, well, he can actually be very like diplomatic and very, appropriate when needed, So
Well, it could also be inappropriate and stuff like that.
Well,
but yeah, as they say, they always say, he's got to be presidential. Well, by definition, anything he does is presidential since he's president. So,
well, I guess if you're comparing to past presidents, then they would say he's not always, but he can be plenty presidential at times when, if he's there's times where he's given really inspiring speeches, and he's, I think been very, I don't think he's not always brash and all that. So he can find the right moments to do, to say things a certain way that are.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, either way, but when he's on. And I think that was here. Let me play it really quick. I'm going to do that because there's actually, believe it or not, because anything President Trump does is always met with a great deal of controversy by the left. Check this out. I'm going to share my screen. And I hope I do this right. Bear with me. And I grabbed CNN's feed. Sorry, guys. It is what it is. Share. Okay. Can you see that? And I'm, no. I have to unshare that for a second because I've got to include audio. What good is video without audio?
That wouldn't work.
So tell me what you're being a chairperson, you have some inside baseball and stuff like that. What are you hearing out there?
So I had a call with our 8th district. I had an 8th district call tonight for all the chairs, and we discussed that there was internal polling done by the RPW, and according to that poll, Trump is 2 points behind Biden, which still is kind of maddening. But yet they said that the gap has been closing quickly. So it sounds like he's catching up and it's closing, which makes it, that makes sense, I think, given what's going on. And I think it's just as people are paying attention more too, as it gets closer, I think that's kind of I expected that. Now I still would much rather have him, ahead, but I don't know, maybe that's a good spot to be because he's got the momentum, and
right,
exactly
that's showing. And this is an inside poll, huh?
Yeah, the RPW, I guess, did it. So however they do that,
I wonder who they hired.
Yeah, I tend to trust their polls probably more than some of the other ones out there where they might be more slanted, or I would imagine the RPW wants a very accurate poll. They want to know what's going on for real.
They want to know that usually political campaign polls are usually the most accurate because they need a true picture of where they're at.
Right, exactly. So
I'm going to play President Trump's response here, and you got to hear this, and then I'll talk about the controversy. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, are you kidding? They got us. This is the most obnoxious ad. Hold on a second. Let me just mute that. Yeah, because it's so full of falsehood.
Yeah, you want to listen to that.
Trump. It's Trump's fault that 18 million people are unemployed. What a crock.
Such a joke. That's such a joke.
Yeah.
Outside the court, flags
okay.
Have staff there.
Okay, shut up. We don't need to hear him.
Just weighed in after a campaign stop in Minnesota. Seeing as Caitlin Collins joins us now from there. Caitlin,
okay, come on.
What did the president say?
Get to it. Get to it. Okay, I'm going to fast forward here.
Wow.
Okay, hold on a second.
Wow.
And here's what he said.
There we go.
Okay.
She just died? Wow. I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the first time. She led an amazing life. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman. Whether you agreed or not, she was an amazing woman who led an amazing life. I'm actually sad to hear that. I am sad to hear that. Thank you very much.
So that was okay. He was giving a speech in a city in Minnesota. I can't pronounce it. It's like Bemidji or something like that. I've never.
Okay.
It's like worse than Oconomowoc. I mean, come on. But so he said that, and it was great. It's very eloquent, and
he was sincere.
Yep, straight to the point, and and. I agree. She was an amazing woman. I may not have to agree with her. She's achieved a lot, and in her lifetime and stuff like that. It's
accomplished.
And there were actually some of her rulings I actually agreed with. So it's not. She wasn't like 100% of the time wrong, in my opinion. Obviously, right and wrong could be relative. But okay. So here's the whole thing. What? This is the first I've heard of it. They're acting like he was lying. They said he was lying about that. His advisors told him right away. He literally walked out of the hangar where he was giving his speech, shaking hands, touching, doing fist bumps, all that stuff. Not sniffing hair. That would be a Biden campaign rally. if he actually had people. Bemidji, that's the name of the city. Thank you very much, CB. Becker. Can't pronounce. I'm Greek. I can pronounce Papakyriazis. I can't pronounce your last name. Forget it. Anyway, so at any rate, so they're complaining. They're saying that Trump was lying about not knowing.
Oh my gosh, who? Like seriously?
The media.
So are these the same people that did not call out Obama for saying, I just found out through the press about some of the stuff that was going on in his own administration? Like, was the IRS scandal, and like he just found out in the press, or it's like, come on, that's ridiculous.
That's That's amazing. So you, as a woman,
Hmm.
I'm assuming your gender. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay.
But
No, please assume. I'm glad you assumed that instead of the other way. Or something in between, or
which
so
one of the 446? Now I look
yeah.
really
How many are there?
purple. Yeah, who knows? Depends on your mood.
Right. Today I feel like okay. So, anyways,
How do I really feel? But you as a woman, I mean, how do you feel about there? I can show you my living room.
oh, there
I
you go.
wish.
That's good.
That's not really my living room, but it's like,
It looks really nice.
why, thank you. Want to go? There's my piano over there. No, over there. Sorry.
Your piano.
Okay. But you as a woman, I mean, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, what are your thoughts on her, and what has she done for women or not? And not to disparage her, but it just kind of, what are your thoughts on the impact that she's had?
Well, I mean, I have to admit I don't know like a ton of her. I haven't looked extensively at all the different rulings she's made, and I mean, honestly, I'd probably disagree with her on plenty of issues. I think there was times where, there's been a unanimous decision, like against some of Obama's executive orders, I think, or there was times where like the court unanimously voted, or not voted, ruled against like some of the things that Obama did. And so sometimes I think she was more fair in that sense, and I guess all of them were on the court. But I mean, obviously she's very pro-choice. I'm pretty sure I heard her say something that was she sounded very anti-Israel in a comment I heard her say one time. I don't remember.
I
It
don't
was
know.
like, it was versus Palestine. She was talking about Palestine and Israel, and she said some kind of remark that was really not good. And I think she apologized later for it. But and then there was one time where I remember, I don't know if it was from the 90s, but there was something I watched her, and I actually shared it before Brian Hagedorn was elected. I was trying to make the point about how important the courts are. And I remember sharing a clip of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, talking about the Constitution and how it wasn't like she didn't rule according to the Constitution wasn't her standard, or there was something to be said about the Constitution, how her views were. And I was like, oh, wow, like that's really not good. And that was from many years ago. And so I think that's her views on her role as a judge or justice, I wouldn't probably agree with for the most part.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's great that, and I'm not one to really care about gender, whatever, but I guess if you say for women, was she the second Supreme Court justice or a woman?
Yes, because Sandra Day O'Connor was the first one.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can look at, just like Barack Obama, when there was just a slight part of me when Barack Obama was elected that for a little bit, like when he was at his inauguration, of course I wasn't happy, but I was like, well, that's kind of a neat moment in our nation's history. First Black president. Yeah. So I mean, you can appreciate certain things. But obviously ideologically, exactly. I totally would disagree with her. But so, yeah.
That's the whole thing about respecting other points of view and everything like that. And she was talking at Scalia's funeral or memorial service or whatever that I think that it was. And let me pull it up here. And she basically said regarding, people would ask her, how do you get along with somebody that you have differences with? And the way Justice Anston and Scalia's point of view on that was, I attack ideas, not people.
Sure.
And that,
yeah.
and that,
well,
and
that's
that
like,
is.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I was going to say, I think, my goal, like with friends I have who are liberal, unless I have some people on my friends list that are like from high school and they're acquainted or like classmates or whatever. I'm not like close friends with them. So some of them are a little far out there for me, and I don't necessarily debate with them. But then there are some friends that are like actual friends that are liberal that, I try to find common ground with them. My goal is to try to rub off on them a little bit to, hopefully get them to see things a little differently. And I'll try to, see things from their point of view too. But I think it's important not to, and the left does this a lot where they just automatically demonize someone for thinking even a little bit differently than they do, so I don't want to be like that where
you don't want to be like the Borg in Star Trek. I don't know if you watch Star Trek, but I'm a nerd.
I'm not totally familiar with that.
Oh no, dang it. Get off my show. No, just kidding.
You'll have to go in depth more about that, but
okay. Well, obviously the elephant in the room, so to speak, not Republican elephant, but elephant in the room, as it were, is the fact that we've got now 40 some days before the election, and President Trump says he's going to nominate, and he'll do it next week. But there's a big question. The Democrats are literally shocked. Like, oh my God, they're shocked that the president is ignoring Ruth Bader Ginsburg's dying wish. Now,
if the other side, if it was the Democrats, they wouldn't be respecting anybody's wishes.
That, for what it's worth, I mean, the Constitution. Do you know what chapter and verse where the dying wish clause is in the Constitution?
I'm pretty sure there's not one. I mean, I have to review it, but I'm pretty sure there's not one. Pretty sure. I mean, no offense to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, with all due respect, no one gives a crap what you wish. Well, and she should have retired under Obama then if she wanted to, or, I mean, I don't know if maybe she was doing just fine then, but.
Well, they're mad at, they're saying Trump's politicizing this, McConnell's politicizing this. So Mary makes a great point here. So the Democrats are unhinged about this nomination, but wait a minute. Here, RBG knew she was dying for quite a while. I mean, people were amazed how long she actually lasted. Pancreatic cancer is usually high mortality and is usually pretty quick.
In a few months, you can,
isn't that politicizing it? She was going to retire in 2013 when Obama could have nominated a new one.
Yep, she should have. I mean, that would have been the way to do it. So I don't. Yeah, I don't know why she didn't do that. She should have thought about that then. So
yeah, she was just as political as anyone else. Let's be real here. Yeah. Everybody's political, even us, everyday folks, but everybody's political to some extent. Whether it's dealing with the next law on whether or not to have more gun control or less gun control, to, whether or not we should have a 2-cent tax on a gallon of milk, everybody's involved, it's just.
Everybody has an opinion. And if it's involving policy or decisions involving the government, it is obviously kind of by nature political. So, I mean, and if you think about it, so when Merrick Garland was appointed or nominated by Obama, the Senate was not controlled by Democrats at the time. Well, now the Senate is controlled by Republicans, and we have a Republican president. So they have every right to the president has a right to nominate a justice, and the Senate has a right to take it up or not take it up.
Yep. And get this, 29 times in history.
I read that.
Yep. Presidents and the Senate of the same party have moved forward and have done a SCOTUS nomination in an election year.
It's not unprecedented. Times. It's normal.
Unprecedented?
Yeah, it's normal. Yeah, it's just disingenuous to claim like oh, I can't believe the president's doing this. It's so ridiculous.
Yep. And there have actually been 9 SCOTUS nominations in election years since 1900. 6 of them were confirmed.
Okay. It's interesting. It's interesting to look at the history of it so you can kind of put things in context.
Yeah, it's just weird. But they're saying, oh, there's not enough time. You're rushing it through. The ironic part about all this, the amount of days that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, her confirmation from nomination to the vote was 42 days.
How far are we out from the election?
45, 44.
Okay, so we got some time. We should probably get it taken care of soon. But no, there's time. And it's really, Ted Cruz made the really important point that because, with it possibly being a close election, I'm hoping for a landslide, but let's just say it's a close election. And based on how the Democrats are responding they don't want to accept the results. If something happens to have to go to the Supreme Court, you don't want a 4-4. The balance would most likely be 4-4, and you don't want to tie. You need a deciding vote if or ruling,
exactly.
Whatever, so you don't want that to be up in the air like that.
Well, the Democrats do, because then they'll have Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, exactly. So they said that's probably why they're fighting this, obviously, is because it's political for them. They're being political.
Well, this is not rushing. Check this out. Okay, more fun facts to know and tell. Supreme Court nominees, this is just since 1900, not even counting our first 100 years or whatever. 70% of Supreme Court nominees, 70% of them have been confirmed in 45 days or less.
Wow. So there you go.
13 of them were confirmed in a week.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this can definitely...
Okay.
Well, depending on
I'm not done yet.
Oh, you're not done? Okay.
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
4 of them were confirmed. Get this. 4 of them were confirmed the same day.
Oh, wow. So that's so it's possible that it could happen pretty quick. Obviously I'm concerned about a few Republicans, but so I'm curious to see who the president nominates or whatever, because I think that you've got a few questionable. Well, was it Collins? Susan Collins was saying there shouldn't be a vote on it.
Yeah, Susan Collins said that, and of course Murkowski.
And Murkowski too, or?
Yep. But I think Susan Collins, it'll all depend on the vote ultimately. But based on the comment yesterday, Susan Collins will no longer be a senator.
Because I don't know where I don't know the makeup of where she's running. Like, I don't know.
She is a moderate Republican in Maine. It will be any of the more harder conservatives probably won't support her. Sure. And she may end up losing that seat, because if she loses her base.
Is she so she is up for re-election this year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it's interesting. That could, I'd be curious to see if that plays in her decision.
Right.
I
think ultimately I'll ask you first. What do you think? Do you think they should have first of all, do you think they should have the hearings before the election?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Do you think they should have the vote before the election?
Absolutely.
Oh, I love you. You're awesome. So,
well,
although I was hoping for a fight, but fine.
No. Well, we'll pick another issue. This one, I'm totally I wasn't sure at first. I was trying to figure out because, part of me was like, well, based on what the Republicans said last time, but you know what? It's all about who has the presidency, who has the Senate at the time. It's up to the Senate. It's up to the president what they want to do with that. And they have every right.
It is.
And also, we can't let the Democrats play us, because they would do this. First of all, they would do the same. They would absolutely do the same thing.
Oh, in a heartbeat. Here, let me turn off my logo here for a second. I'm going to show you this. Bing. There's nothing in the Constitution that says the president stops being president in his last year.
Right.
That was Ruth Bader Ginsburg regarding the nomination, and arguably in the Merrick Garland, but
and President Trump actually is up for election again, so it's not like he's a lame duck, quote unquote, or there's he could be
Yeah.
in for another 4 years, you know. So
it was different in 2016 because there was going to be a full shift. There was no incumbent. It wasn't even the vice president who was running. It was open field, and Clinton and Trump were the last men standing.
The last men
that was on purpose.
That was a good one.
Freudian slip. Oops.
Well,
like I always said, I'm not mad at Bill Clinton for cheating on her, because if I was married to her, I would cheat too.
it might be kind of hard to, and I think I think that's a marriage of political convenience. I'm sure. Yeah. So
absolutely. She likes women, and so does he. Anyway.
Okay. So, well, I was going to say, I think every situation, because sometimes people try to compare things without really looking at the context. So I think, you know, too often people say, well, the Republicans did this then, or they said this then, but the situation wasn't exactly the same. So I think, you know, you can look at the different, you know, there's different scenarios that can change things with how, you know, the decisions that are made. So
it is. Somebody just sent me an image that.
Okay, I was wondering what you're laughing at.
I just got. I have to share this. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Oh, jeez. Oh boy.
It's in context for what we were discussing, so I had to do it.
Okay.
So we have the vote beforehand and stuff like that. I completely agree. I think we need to have the vote beforehand, because the biggest thing is that way the election, I mean, the Supreme Court is settled before the election, because the Democrats,
too much is up in the air. Too much is up in the air.
The Democrats are saying they're going to challenge. They said Biden has 600 lawyers.
Oh my gosh.
Around the country.
Yeah.
They have, and they're mobilized, and I'm sure our side is mobilized too. If they're not, they better be. But this way, the SCOTUS pick is set. They say it's going to motivate their side. No, this also does one more thing. It takes the wind out of their sails. It's a battle they lost. They've lost the battle. So why bother fighting?
Right. Well, and you know, I did hear too, just because you just mentioned, I hope our side is, you know, doing the same thing. I heard, actually this was on the call that I was on. Yeah. So Justice Dan Kelly is going to be heading up the effort to, like, a legal effort to be ready in case there's a recount or if there's any issues. He's going to be, so he's going to be part of that, like a big part of that. So just, the RPW is definitely in Wisconsin. I don't know. I'm not totally sure what's going on at the national level, but in Wisconsin, they are lawyering up. And I think Andrew Hitt is a lawyer himself, or he's got, his background is in law or something, but he was right on top of, in the April election, there were several lawsuits filed by the Republican Party of Wisconsin. So I think this time around, at least in Wisconsin, I feel like they'll be on top of a lot of things. I hope, but it sounds like.
Yeah, it's sorry. I'm looking at you got the black bars on your thing here. I'm going to fix the screen here. There we go.
Okay.
It's like future reference, horizontal. Anyway.
Is it because of my phone? It's probably because of my phone. I'm using my phone. Okay. Oh, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Are you okay?
Stephanie.
I'm like just waiting. I'm like, am I on?
You wanted your own show? Okay.
No, I really don't. Actually. Not right now, at least. Okay. I wasn't prepared.
Okay. I'll just do this. There we go. Now
there you go.
Now we're
okay. That's better. Okay.
We can fill the screen. Ooh, where's my little logo? I need my branding.
Uh-oh.
There I am. Okay. So this is the Paris Percopa show. We're not sponsored by anything.
You're official now.
Yeah. No, I'm officially official. I really do look red, and I know you're not making me blush, but I could make you blush, though. Be careful.
Okay, let's not start that.
How you doing? No, okay. Let's see. What do we have here? It's the Stephanie Show. Yeah, Paula, you should come on. I'd love to get your opinion on this. My friend Paula can be very opinionated on things. I like her.
Oh, okay. Well,
She does good opinions. Paula, want to come on? We need more estrogen on this show. I've never had. I've only had 2 women on the show at the same time once.
Well, maybe you should start. Maybe that should be something you should pursue.
I should pursue it.
You should.
I've only had one force breathing alien. So there you are. Hello.
Oh my gosh. Yoda.
So I know it's digressing
Yeah,
badly. So
It is. We should.
but-
Okay, get back on track.
back on track. So I think ultimately having to vote beforehand, it doesn't taint the election, because if no matter what the outcome of the election, the court has 9 justices seated. That way it's not a 4-4 tie. And it's assuming that Roberts is going to screw us. We don't know. I'm sorry. It's
Well, it's kind of like, well, I mean, and I was thinking of Hagedorn with the Supreme Court, because I normally you would think, oh, we've got a 5, or no, I'm sorry, there's 7 on the
7-3.
state.
Yeah, 7.
Sorry. So
or 3.
Yeah, so 4-3. But there's times where he's surprised me a few times. So we can't assume that. So it's the same thing at the federal level, that you don't know how Roberts is going to go. So
I actually agree with him on one of those rulings, and that was the ruling with the extension of the
you talked about this,
lockdown. Yeah, I think it did. So I agreed with the one ruling, but I don't agree with the rest of his, especially the one that it was basically they didn't have time to hear the case. It's not a timely case. What are you going to do? Not hear anything that happened suddenly?
what was that one about? I don't remember.
The one that just happened. The one that just happened with the
the Green Party.
The Green Party. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So,
yeah. Go ahead.
no, I was going to say, so settling the Supreme Court is important before it, because if you try to settle it afterwards, it will be.
We all know that the Democrats they don't want the Supreme. Well, they want the Supreme Court seat, but even if they lost the election, they want to use that whole situation to their advantage. So regardless of if they want Biden to pick the next one, or if he loses, they don't want this seat filled. So, I mean, either way, they're playing politics just as much as they could try to claim that the Republicans are.
And we want to see Biden's list. Come on, Biden. He says he has a huge list filled with women of color. I'm sorry. Okay. It is wrong to not hire someone based on their color.
Yeah. Or their gender.
It is or gender or anything else. But it is also wrong to hire someone for the same reasons.
Right. I mean, if that alone is the reason, I mean, it should be, you should look strictly at qualifications. So
you should in a perfect world. And, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. And then, the reality is we are no longer the Jim Crow South.
Right.
So, racism is not running rampant. It still exists, but it's not running rampant. And it's codified in the law that it's against the law to discriminate, et cetera. Okay.
Yep.
But on the flip side, the Republicans have to recognize it wasn't that, Abe Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation and then the Civil War ended, the slaves were free and everything was hunky-dory. No,
it's been a long process. Yeah.
It took generations.
And the Democrat Party has fought against equality for, as far as, civil rights and stuff for Black people for decades before. Oh yeah, Kamala. Yeah. Oh, I think she spelled Kamala wrong.
I just, my mind totally went somewhere and I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to take that off.
Okay.
I took it way out of context, women of color. That's so racist. It is.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely. Judge them by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Isn't that what Martin Luther King actually died for?
Yep,
So
pretty much.
yeah, but it's going to be some exciting times actually. But yeah, this way, obviously, because I think after the election, once the election is settled, then it becomes, or once at least election night is settled, it probably won't be settled right away. But
yeah.
But once the election is technically over, we have a 9-seat Supreme Court. Because otherwise 8 and 8 could lead to another constitutional crisis. And I think the Democrats want that because they want to at least, and I'm not sure how this works. Okay, so I don't know, maybe you might know more about this.
Okay.
Election night, the new Congress gets sat on January 3rd. Obviously, they're saying the presidential election might not be settled, but that means there's a chance that there's a chance that the congressional makeup might not be settled as well.
I suppose.
What happens? Because after January 3rd, they're no longer in Congress. The one third of the Senate and the entire House of Representatives, their term ends on January 3rd, January 2nd.
Right.
So, who would be president?
Well, isn't there something about, isn't there, I thought Nancy Pelosi, you're saying like if the House wasn't settled. Well, I think it would though, because the Congress, it's easier to keep track of, like, so the presidential is a little bit more monumental of a state by state thing, where Congress would be just in a district where you should be able to, well, I would think it's a smaller scale, so it'd be easier to be definitive, as far as who won that race. So I think that I would think the House would be settled by then.
Possibly. It's assuming, there aren't like 50 races not called because they're too close to call.
Yeah. Well, that would be a nightmare.
Well, remember in 2018, there was no blue wave, but 2 weeks later, there was a blue wave.
Well, I wasn't in California, like all of a sudden, like things switched and was like, wait, what just happened?
Ballots were just showing up.
Yeah.
And so that's why, assume California won't be in play anyway, but then again, it could be. I still think there's always hope. I feel your pain, California. But that's why it's so important that, yes, we have regressed 100 years, but it is so important that we get the majority in the Congress, because then the House of Representatives, and I think we need to keep the majority in Senate, but the House of Representatives chooses the president if there's no president selected. So that means if we have 216, that
sounds right.
Yeah, there's a couple of congressional seats they just get votes, but yeah. So this could actually, if the Republicans get control of the House of Representatives, it's a moot point anyway, because they'll vote to elect Trump.
Yeah.
Even if it's not settled, they'll just have a vote and they'll vote to elect Trump.
I'm hoping for a landslide, and then we don't even have
matter.
to think. But it's obviously it's you have to contemplate these things just in case, because we don't know what'll happen for sure. So
here's one more thing to contemplate. There's a chance that the Democrats are so desperate about this Ginsburg seat that they might actually try something not so nice against sitting senators right now.
Okay.
Remember, Republicans have the majority right now.
Right. So
minus Murkowski, minus what's her name? You only need 2.
Susan
Collins. Suddenly they'll be kidnapped or something. I wouldn't put the left. I mean, they're desperate. That's more conspiratorial, but
well, sometimes too, I think, what happens is there's people that I honestly, I think this isn't even conspiratorial, but there's people that are blackmailed or that have things held over them that we don't know about. And I often wonder if something with John Roberts happened like that, where, I don't know for sure, but just speculating.
That's the big question. Because John Roberts, it's like, this whole flip-flopping thing, this is new. This was never like this.
Yeah.
I actually
Sounds
had a
like
lot of respect for him.
Yeah, something kind of seems like something happened, but it's hard to say what happened. But
He drank the Kool-Aid. He got a tingle down his leg because of Obama. But yes, I think that I mean they're likely to try some sort of, because right now that's been kind of what they call a bloodless coup. They attempted to overthrow the election. They did all this stuff, but
well,
it's a
they
little,
also threatened riots if they don't get
Mhm.
the election results they want, or
Yep.
they've threatened riots if a new justice is appointed and confirmed. They've threatened riots if Joe Biden loses. So it doesn't. I mean, if they don't get their way, period, they are going to riot. Which we have to think about after the election too a little. I mean, obviously, main focus needs to be we need to win, but then after the election,
Mhm.
it's
Yep.
a little bit unsettling to think what they're going to do.
Yep, and they'll feel it's justified because the ends
Mhm.
justify the means. Machiavelli is
Yep.
alive and
And if
well.
they're going to claim that the world is ending like they've done the past 4 years, then they're just, anything is justified because they're just, it's for the greater good. So you can do evil
Mhm.
to overcome the greater evil, basically.
Yeah,
supposed
and that's scary.
evil.
That scares me. We already saw one crackpot try to gun down the House of Representatives members that were playing
Yep.
softball a few years ago.
Yep.
I don't trust them. I mean, they're so desperate. I don't know. I hope nothing comes like that. But
Well, did you see that one? Oh, I think you shared it with me actually. That one girl drive in her car, and she
no.
she
Yes.
was, oh my gosh, it was scary, like creepy, like how she flipped out. I couldn't believe it. She was just like, like she was like
Oh my
losing
gosh.
her mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I could pull it up on here. I gotta share this. I don't know if everybody saw it. And mind you guys, it does have some profanity in it.
Because
But
that's
this
what
is
they do.
that's what they do. But just remember, this was remember in 2016, the woman with the green jacket. No! No! Oh, sorry. I shouldn't be so loud. I've got neighbors downstairs now. I live in a duplex. I haven't had a neighbor in so long.
Okay. It's a little late. Yeah, don't scream that loud.
Well, it depends. I can't. Sorry.
Okay.
I can't help it. I scream. Now I made you blush. Okay, let's see. Where is
You're looking for that video?
Yeah, I'm looking for the video. Keep talking amongst yourselves.
Okay. Well, this is what I mean. If you think they were unhinged in 2016 and they hadn't even seen what President Trump had done yet, or Donald Trump had done yet, I mean, just imagine with the new Supreme Court justice being appointed, how they'll respond. Think about how they responded with Justice Kavanaugh or Brett Kavanaugh before it became a justice, and think about how now this is even worse for the Democrats.
Oh,
I mean, they aren't happy.
It's awesome that you just said that. Think about this. Had they not acted like total asshats during the Kavanaugh hearings, they'd be in the majority right now.
Yeah. I believe it.
That's the priceless part about all this.
They were insanely, they were insane. They were like pounding on the doors of the Supreme Court, and they were just acting like they were psycho.
Oh, Mary's asking. Yeah, hold on a second. Mary's asking, would if the vote went to Congress, it would be simple majority in both houses. The House of Representatives would elect the president. The Senate would elect the vice president. So, all the Supreme Court can do is stop the counting and do all that stuff. They cannot say you're the president, you're the vice president. It's not constitutionally, they don't have that right. Just like in like the state of Michigan or Pennsylvania, which they're trying to do, the Supreme Court is more, they're like 5-2 liberal. And the governor, they want to actually say that, signatures don't have to match and stuff like that. And they want to determine how the electors are selected to make them not pick Trump. It'll be, and constitutionally, the legislature, which is controlled by the Democrats, by the Republicans, the legislature is the only body that can actually set how you seat electors. It's constitutionally in the U.S. Constitution.
Well, thank God for that.
Anyway, they're simple majorities, but guys, I've got a video. So this is going to be fun. Okay. I just love it. Oh, wait, I changed my window here. So there we go. Yes, I'm a nerd, but sometimes I forget my nerdness. Let me share my screen. Let's go to here. Let's go share audio and boom. Okay, let's see what I'm looking at. Okay. So this, okay, guys, are you ready for this? Watch.
Holy fucking shit, you guys! I'm driving your car, but I just got a notification that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died! Fuck! Could this year get any fucking worse? Ruth, you just had to make it for 2021!
I'm crying.
I just, when I saw that,
That is crazy. Oh my god.
oh, I made you cry.
I'm just like, seriously, that was just like, oh my gosh, that was scary and hilarious all at once.
I mean, this is how unhinged these people are. I mean, I remember, it was,
Seriously.
oh God, it was when Barack Obama won re-election a few years ago, when in 2012.
Yeah.
Republicans kept the House, but the Obama won re-election or something, or we kept the Senate, one of the two. I don't remember.
Okay.
But I did a video and I was sitting on my couch and I just said, Barack Obama won. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Life is over. And then I said, if you really think that, you're stupid. I'm gonna keep on fighting. Whatever. I just did. It was kind of a hoorah video.
You didn't have a real meltdown. You were joking.
No, I was acting.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Seriously. And why would you record yourself doing it? Like, is it a joke or?
Yeah.
So dangerous driving.
I don't know, but it's like, I'm wondering if she's just someone just joking around.
I mean, she seems sincere. She seems sincere, but it wouldn't be hard to believe that was like really her being upset. But oh my gosh, it was like just really crazy.
Yeah. Democracy, this
Oh.
country is over. Yes.
Oh, there's some great videos out there. Oh,
it's so
awesome.
Oh, it's so funny. Mary, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember from the recall. Remember there was a guy who threw a cup full of beer on one of the
I remember
state representatives or whatever.
Yeah.
Or state senator. He was in a pink dress, so everybody referred to him as Pink Dress Guy. I would like you to know, I've actually had conversations since then. I met him. I actually met him when I was in there. Yeah, I was in the rotunda during the protests for the right to work legislation.
Okay.
And he came up to me and it's like, because I was just shooting some video, yep. Miles, yep. I have to tell you though, he's come around. I got to give the guy credit.
Really?
He realizes what an idiot he was and stuff like that.
Oh.
He regrets doing it, whatever.
Okay.
But he also, he's also very libertarian.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Which is fascinating, and that's the whole thing. People change, and that's kind of where I'm starting. What are your thoughts on people who signed a recall? Now, 10 years ago now, almost.
Oh, you mean people for Scott Walker?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean what do I think as far as if they've changed their minds or
is it something we almost a decade later, is it something to hold over their heads anymore?
I don't necessarily think so. You mean for example, if somebody's running for office as a Republican and they signed I think you have to look at everything in context maybe. And because there's people even like this year that have switched from Democrat to Republican. So, you have to look at the whole context and figure out, okay, is this legitimately someone who has changed or, so I don't think that alone should disqualify somebody, especially so long ago, because that's a long time where you could change, over.
I'm the same way. I'm willing to add, I want an explanation. And I think, I'm entitled to that, but it's just like.
Well, people who voted for Obama twice are going to be voting for Trump or people who voted for Obama twice. In fact, Brandon Struck, who started the walkaway campaign.
He voted for Hillary.
Yeah, he voted for Hillary, and he was crying about it after. I mean, he was like he did a video and he was crying, and now he's so pro Trump. So it's you have to look at everything in context. So.
Well, I take everything out of context, so it's difficult. If you haven't noticed by now,
sometimes you do. But when you're talking about politics, then it's very important to not take things out of context, because
context matters.
It does. Well, and so many people, like with President Trump, constantly are taking him out of context. So, and there's times where he says stuff I would agree with, but of course there's times where he's like so taken out of context where it's just totally insincere, and that they're just attacking him.
Like he supposedly said that white supremacists were good people. No, he did not. When you have everything in context.
I have to remind. I mean, whenever I debate my liberal friends, I bring that up because,
Remember, he was actually thinking of running for president. You were much younger then, I'm sure, but he was ready to run for president. 1996, I think. There was the Reform Party. He joined the Reform Party. He was thinking of running for president. He was involved with it. He quit the Reform Party. Why? Because David Duke was one of the people in charge of it. Yeah, he left. He didn't want to be a part of it.
Well, what's funny? Didn't David Duke just disavow his support for Donald Trump sometime either this last year or the year before? And then The View were celebrating the fact that David Duke, they look like idiots. They were excited that I'm like, wait a second. I thought you said David Duke was a racist and it was horrible that he supported President Trump. And now they're like, oh, yay. It's so that's great. He's disavowing Donald Trump. I'm like, good. And I'm like, and you're celebrating it? It was so weird. They don't even know they're not consistent.
Oh, and Mary Thompson likes my piano in the background. All right. See, that's a grand. Don't you love my amazing, amazing home? It is so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It's not real. It's not real.
It's like out of this world.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, boom, I'm in New York City now. All right. Okay, let's take a trip to Greece. There's a Parthenon. All right, so there we go. Opa! There we go. Okay. There, I gotta have the Greeks they taught us about the concept of the Republic.
Mm-hmm.
So
So that's good.
Gotta love it.
Although the Greece, didn't they have their collapse Greece,
they did.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of countries have.
Because their politicians became corrupt. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Float the cup. I can't float the cup. But okay, Paula, I'll do a trick for you. See, okay, are you ready? Paula wants a trick. I do lots of fun tricks. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! I'm gone.
That's like Frodo in Lord of the
Where
Rings.
am I? Where am I? Hello. All right, there we go.
That's interesting.
There.
That's interesting. How did you do that?
SPQR. Oh, I'll never tell my tricks.
What's
It's kinda
SPQR?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's code for something. SPQR.
Eventually it all comes to a head. So I actually have, because I'm using a green screen, and I have a green blanket as well.
Okay. Oh,
So-
I get it. Okay.
Okay. Ed Delgado, tell us what SPQR is. Oh, I got to do this one more time just because. Okay, here we go. I'm going to enlarge it, and now we're going to play it. There we go.
Try not to cry.
Holy fucking shit, you guys! I'm driving your car, but I just got a notification that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died! Fuck! Could this year get any fucking worse? Ruth, you just had to make it to 2021!
Oh my God.
Oh man, I love it.
I can watch
love
that
it.
again. It's like watching the meltdown of the left when the president won, when it was like final that like he won and they realized it. I could watch that like montage of the response of the media like over and over and over, and then the music in the background and oh, that's great.
Oh yeah, it's
I
gonna
mean,
be
it's kind of
interesting.
scary. It's kind of scary though, because if you multiply that times millions of people, like it's kind of scary to think of how they're going to respond. So,
Oh, there we go. Senatus Populesci Romanus. I prefer the Romulan Empire to the Klingon Empire, but that's a whole different conversation, right, Ed? All right, now I get it. That makes more sense. Well, I think we're coming up in an hour here.
yeah,
You didn't
I
want to
think
be
we
on too long.
discussed plenty of, we discussed quite a bit. So, or,
And we got,
oh, go ahead.
no, and we got to see our wonderful friend screaming.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to watch that again when I get off.
I
too funny.
I'm telling you that was so I just oh man,
it was scary but hilarious. I don't know.
So well, thank you for joining me on short notice. I was
Yeah.
going to have someone else on, but they didn't get back to me. I was having internet issues earlier, so I couldn't get on. And
Okay.
then
Well, it worked
then,
out good. That worked out well. So
yeah, worked out well. Perfect timing. And thank you so much for joining me and for being sassy as usual.
I try. Not really, but
And for putting up with me.
yeah, there's that too. But it's fun. So
Yeah. And Stephanie did promise she's going to introduce me to all her single female friends. So.
there you go. Well, what did somebody say? Get a girlfriend? That's who said that the other night?
Oh gosh. Yeah. I've had crazy luck lately. It's just weird being in the dating world now. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
Okay. All right. Well, it was fun joining you. So we'll do it again.
Thank you so much. I look forward to it again. Remember,
right.
Stay out of the world. Oh, I'm sorry.
I can't see comments, so I don't know if you're looking at a comment.
I don't know.
I didn't read all that. Okay.
Yeah, and
something about a vaccine.
Yeah, something about a vaccine.
Oh, Tracy.
I'm not talking.
I remember.
Yeah, I'm not talking vaccines right now. And
oh my gosh, that would be a wonderful.
not in that context. I could. I could not handle. I don't know if it was just. I had one date where I met someone who was apparently more woke than she let herself on to. Oh my gosh. Do you have a minute? I got to tell you this story.
Sure.
Okay. So I met her on a dating site, Match, whatever. And this is like a year or so ago. And I didn't read, I read her profile again before we were going to meet. We agreed to meet. She's from Kenosha. I'm from here. And we were going to meet in the middle of like Oak Creek. So I'm about ready to leave. And I read her profile. She said she's looking for a progressive man. And I'm like, so I replied back and I let her know I'm not progressive. I'm conservative. And, I said I lean more conservative. She goes, that's all right. I've got Republican friends. Let's meet anyway. You never know. Okay. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm always game. I'm not that way. So I end up showing up and we barely sat down at the bar. So so I know you said you're a Republican, but did you vote for President Trump? And I said, yeah, of course. She goes, how can you support his misogyny?
That's a good way to start.
And I'm like taken aback, but I'm also I used to do improv, so I'm also very, very quick to adapt to situations. So I said, I'm assuming you voted for Hillary? She goes, of course I did. I go, how could you support her enabling her husband's misogyny?
Ooh, that was a good one.
And she said, well, that's not the same thing. I go, honestly, it really is, because those poor women that went after her husband, Hillary destroyed them. Remember the bimbo eruptions and all that stuff. It was, a trailer park. She called them all trailer park trash.
Yep.
She goes, you know what? This date is over.
She couldn't handle the truth.
She's one of those ultra feminists. But
Oh,
so
boy.
she said,
You don't
so
want
she's,
to date.
oh yeah. I'm the
No.
kind of person who, if I can have a dialogue with anyone, no big
Yeah.
deal. We can be respectful, whatever. But if somebody is a dick, pardon my language, but if somebody is that bad, I'll take the knife and I'll twist it. So when
That
she
was good.
said, this date is over. Oh, that's not good. Just wait. She goes, this date is over. And I said, but wait, we can continue the spirited discussion and just imagine the makeup sex. She went, oh, and she walked out in a huff. The bartender was cracking up.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I had my adventure. So then
lesson learned. Don't, if it says progressive, don't even go there.
they're not talking about flow, I guess. I don't know.
I was
But-
gonna say there's you know what? I don't like that term that they use, progressive, because progressive is supposed to be a good thing, but they're not progressing. Well, yeah, they're not progressing.
regressing.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So OMG. Yes. See, Dawn, I made you say OMG and I didn't even have to touch you. Ha, love it. I'm talented. Okay. She's an old friend. She can take it.
Okay. What is?
I kind of hate the feminist movement. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
agree with it either. So, I mean, maybe it started out with good intentions, but it's gone way off the deep end. So, I don't agree with it now.
Well, the fact that like I can't hold a door open for a woman before that. I had this
Yeah.
one lady said, "That's okay. I got it. You don't have to." It's like I'm just being polite.
Like if you wanted to offer to pay for someone's meal, if you're on a date, you pay for a meal, that is seen as what? What is that seen as by feminists? That like you're belittling them or making them feel like they can't pay for it themselves, or no, it's just it's a nice thing to do. I mean, so it's like it's a gentlemanly thing to do.
Except on a first date, it's Dutch treat. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna, we gotta, because I don't, no obligations either way or anything like that. It's just, let's meet. But I usually don't meet for
sure.
dinner. So
If
we'll
it's
go to
the
like
first-
we'll go to like a Starbucks or something. It's neutral territory. But now you can't even go out anymore. Well, now you can, but before. Try dating during COVID. Oh my God.
yeah.
Okay. I stopped. I'm becoming a monk. All right. Well,
Okay. On that note,
thank you. Thank you so much for joining me, Stephanie. And
Thanks for having me.
I do have your name, or Stacy, or Yo Chick.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on the show.
okay, you got it. I think.
No, I appreciate it. If
right.
you hear any more inside baseball, definitely let me know.
Yeah.
I think it'll be.
Sometimes I hear stuff, so I'll let you know.
I don't want to know about the voices in your head. I just want.
I hear from people in the know, put it that way, from people that are behind the scenes. So
I hear a few things as well, and I like what I'm hearing, but I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not talking about it.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not going to assume anything. So
Nope, not at all. We still got to bust our asses.
Yep.
Donald Trump is behind, and let's assume he's behind.
exactly. So
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Yep,
Steph.
we'll
I'll
talk to you later.
soon. Bye.
sounds good. Bye.
All right. That was Stephanie. Thank you for joining me. She's from the Great White North. Well, it'll be White North probably in a month or so here when it starts snowing. But she's up near Door County. So she's way up there in probably the most beautiful part of the state, which is, well, although Western Wisconsin is pretty beautiful too. So, but at any rate, so Mary's saying she's going to help me. Uh-oh. I'm beyond help. Those of you should know that I'm way beyond help. Can you imagine anyone being able to put up with me? So, yes, I remember one of those college feminists. Okay, I'm going to have a show with just talking about the feminist movement, the modern feminist movement. I think that would be great. I will have a panel of several women on here. And I think it'd be great to talk. I've got some great ladies I can bring on the show. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me. It's Sunday night and I work tomorrow. Well, not work, but I got stuff I got to do early in the morning. My son's got school, all that stuff. Thank you so much for joining me. And remember, we got a lot of work to do. Always assume the President Trump is behind. And if you're having any arguments with your friends, just quote Ruth Bader Ginsburg. There's nothing in the Constitution that says the president stops being president in his last year. And that's the way it goes. And whoever, I forgot who sent me this, but this is absolutely hilarious. This is great. Oh, God. All right, people, thank you and have an awesome night. Thank you so much for joining me. And you want me to have a panel to get a Ed Delgado, you're going to have me in trouble. Paula, thank you for coming on, watching the show. So make sure you share it with your friends. I'll talk to you later. Have an awesome, awesome night. Oh, God. Remember, it's always be a little behind than a big behind, but always turn the other cheek. Good night, people. Have an awesome night. Bye. Mwah.